Hello, beautiful people. This is great. We're back on today, and we've got another wonderful guest. Just give me a few minutes while we get connected with some of the other platforms. And I think we should be on all the platforms now. So, hello, beautiful people, and welcome. I'd like to introduce you to my guest, Laurie Landry, who is here with me. And we both contributed to the bundle. And we want to talk about the bundle. And I'd love to learn. I've got so many questions for you, and I'd love to learn more about you. Laurie, can you introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you and why you decided to enter into the bundle?
Yeah, so I am an autoimmune health coach. So I help determine women who are struggling to put their autoimmune disease into remission, get off some medications, possibly start feeling better, have more energy, less joint stiffness, pain, inflammation, swelling, because that's what I went through. That was my story. And then I don't remember exactly, it was many years ago. I found out about the bundle through people that I was following. And I was super interested in it, and so I was buying the bundles for myself because I thought they were amazing, and it wasn't the vegan health bundle, I don't think was around yet. So I was buying, like, the ultimate weight loss bundle. I think I bought the plant-based bundle. I'm not sure, maybe a raw bundle. And I love them, and I have all of the content kept forever, my Google Docs. And then, someone had I wrote a recipe book. My first one was a smoothie book. Someone I was like connected to, had reached out to me and was like, do you want to be part of it? Here's like all the information. And I was like, I was so flattered. I was like so excited. I was like, of course I want to be part of it. So I kind of fixed up my book to make it, kind of fit the guidelines, and added a couple more recipes and made it look a little bit better. And so I submitted it and they accepted it. And so I was really excited. It wasn't for this one, but it was for a different bundle. And then ever since then, I was connecting with more people. That's what's so great about these bundles, is because you really get to connect. Like, you and I just connected just the other day, and we're able to do this live together. And so by connecting, I found out and was invited to be part of other bundles. And that kind of forced me out of my comfort zone a little bit, because I would not consider myself like a chef in any way. I like to make recipes. Well, I like to cook because I like to know that I'm eating healthy and that I know what's going into my body. But it's not that I'm not one of those people who just, like, really loves to cook as like a hobby. It's not necessarily my thing, but these bundles are yeah, so it took me out of my comfort zone to do that, but I think that was good because it really made me kind of hone in on, what my strengths are, and like what we normally typically eat and what we really like for flavor profiles, and really introduce, some family and friends, or anyone that, is similar to me, who really doesn't want super complicated recipes all the time and just wants to eat stuff that just seems kind of, quote unquote normal. Especially if they're not plant-based or vegan yet. Hopefully they'll see, that there's so many delicious recipes. And then buying the bundle helped me to not only create my books and create these recipes, but also, like, now I have a plethora of recipes that I don't even have to worry about, because I can just go in any of the bundles that I bought and find whatever I need. And so that's where we are here. And then for the book that I wrote specifically for this bundle, was kind of a mishmash of different reasons why I wrote it. So my book is recipes for better intimacy. And I was getting to the point where at the age where some of my friends are dealing with different, like, hormone issues, or maybe they're going on dates with someone who are having trouble performing, or even they themselves are, having lower libido, or maybe even some vaginal dryness, or, just not feeling sexy. Maybe they're having, like, some body odor, some skin issues, or some, stomach issues, some flatulence. It's like not really that fun to feel really insecure about your own self, especially if you're dating, or you're with your a partner, or multiple partners. And then also, like, if you're with someone, you don't really want them to smell, or to, have problems performing, or feel insecure because maybe they don't seem like they can perform, and you project it onto yourself. And so I thought, well, how is this all connected to health? Like, this can't just be an age thing, because now not only are we seeing it younger and younger, but, a lot of times people are just blaming it on mental health. And it's like, well, you're stressed, you're this, you're that. And it's like, well, you know, I was just talking to somebody else today. I was like, boys in college age, they have a lot on their plate. They're working a side job, they're going to school full time. It's kind of stressful, right? But a lot of them don't have any issues in that territory. So I don't think it's all mental. And so I was looking into it more, and I was like, oh, it's like directly related, like a precursor to heart health, precursor to heart disease. When we're talking about some of these aspects, and then overall health as well. So it's not just heart disease or erectile dysfunction that I talk about in the book, but um, just want it, like, if we don't just pinpoint on one thing, if we look at the body as a whole, not just the sum of its parts, we can really just fix a lot of different parts of our bodies, different organs, whether it be the sex organs or other internal organs. And skin is our biggest organ. That's a big thing people struggle with, and I do help some of my clients with that as well. And so then here we are today, and I get to connect with all of you wonderful people, and I get to promote something that I actually really, really believe in, I really love. And it's not even just recipes, it's workshops and classes and courses and seminars and trainers and yoga and mindset and affirmations. There's so many amazing things in the bundle.
Yes, so many. And thank you for sharing all of that. And I had we didn't have a chance to really plan this live. And so it was kind of like a quick last minute. And with 15 minutes, I threw together one of your recipes.
Wait, what?
And yes, I got
What's
really excited. This is the mixed greens and mango salad with the creamy
Ooh.
citrus dressing. And I'm not giving it away, so you'll have to like get the bundle if you want to get the recipe, but I put some of the ingredients that are in the salad out here, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." First of all, to be able to throw together something that quickly is incredible. It's simple. It's easier than throwing something in the microwave for 3 minutes. I kid you not. I was like, and I'm really excited because I love all the colors. And what was really exciting to me when I was looking through your bundle piece that you put in there is I thought, wow, nobody, well, I don't want to say nobody, but this topic of intimacy, it's a hard topic for people. People don't feel comfortable talking about it, I think. And so I'm excited to talk to you about it. I think that it's something that we can all learn from. And a little bit of what I was able to read about is there's an autoimmune component. I had no idea, and the food and the heart and all these things that are connected. It doesn't mean, oh, your libido's low because you're going through menopause, or because whatever people associate it with, but they're actually underlying problems that can be addressed. And so I think it's awesome that you're putting this out there. And I'm loving it. Like, who doesn't want to, I mean, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I'm going to say it that way. Who doesn't want to have sex and, feel good and sexy? And I mean, that's part of human nature. And if it's not working properly for you, why not eat something delicious like this and try to turn it around? And of course, find out what's wrong. So, yeah, I got really excited about your book.
Oh, thank you so much. And your display is absolutely gorgeous, just like how you have it all out and all the colors, and so beautiful. And before I forget, I wanted to, say thank you for having me on your channels as well. And I'm glad we really connected.
Oh, of course. Yes, it's my pleasure. And, you know, um, that just want to say a few things about the bundle. I know that a lot of people are aware of what it is. This is my first year contributing. How many years is this for you to be a contributor?
I think I've been part of maybe 5 or 6 bundles. This is but some of them are like multiple in a year. So maybe about I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I wanna say. But,
Wow.
they get, as you can see, it can be a lot of prep and a lot of work, and on the back end and everything, and then during to market and tell everyone around about it. So sometimes I have to, say no to some of them. And I mean, it takes a lot. Like I said, it takes a lot for me to create recipes. Some people can just do it, and I'd love to learn. If you wanted to talk, I'd love to learn more about you and how you got into doing it, and what your journey is as well. But for me, I know that it's it takes a lot for me to come up with a recipe and then put it all together. So sometimes I have to be like, okay, I just have to, take care of myself for a little bit and maybe just do one a year.
Right. And you know what? That's awesome. So you've had a lot of experience, and I could probably learn from you. But I know, just to mention a few things, I think you have like a chickpea, some kind of vegetable stir fry. I know there's some breakfast stuff that was really, really exciting. Besides, there was like some kind of a berry smoothie, and you had like waffles, pumpkin spiced waffles, and things like that. What I also thought was really interesting about yours is that it's a mixture of raw and cooked. And you made it clear on the recipe. You put, this is a raw recipe, or this is you didn't put cooked, but raw. And I thought, wow, that's great. I have a mixture as well. And I kind of wish that I had, let people know, because it makes it easier if you're looking for a certain type of thing. So I really love that. And I'm really excited to try a lot of your stuff. um,
Yay!
yeah, but just to let you know, the bundle is for sale from now and through March 10th. And all you have to do is click the link in my bio or in Laurie's bio. Do you want to say how people can find your link? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm very active on Instagram and on Facebook. Both of the handles are Laurie Landry. Sorry, yeah, Laurie Landry Wellness. Um, you can also find I think I am streaming this, if it's all working well, onto my personal Facebook page. But I think it's only going to my friends, but it's okay. I should be able to hopefully share after. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. And then I was only able to skim your book briefly, but there was, even just right off the bat, I saw a couple of recipes and I'm like, I definitely want to try these. And the stuffed cabbage rolls, I love cabbage, so that looks really good. And then I'm a big fan of smoothies. I eat them often because I can pack so much health and nutrients into them, and they're
Yes.
just easy and kind of I just throw it all in, blend it up, and I can take it to work, and I can take it on a walk, and I can put it in the fridge for a day and have something. And your minty green energy smoothie looked really good to me, specifically because of the greens in it. I think I had kale and spinach and maybe another cruciferous. I don't quite remember, but that's what I usually put in my smoothies. I'm big on the cruciferous for healing, so I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yeah, there's a lot in the bundle. I mean, just like you had mentioned earlier, all the different people, it's $49, and you get over 83 contributions, is the last I heard, of
Hmm.
all kinds of things. So it isn't just recipe books. And like you said, you can get yoga. There's a thing, there's a medical doctors that are putting stuff in, right, about blood pressure. And Feel Fabulous Over 40 has Dr. Sabatino, Dr. Joel Furman is in there. And just so many more. There's affirmations in there, and it's just incredible. So I'm excited about it. Yes, this is my first time in, um, it's been a big learning experience. And, I've been on a health, I've been very ill. I've been very ill for a long time, and having different things throughout my life. Something as simple as allergies. And then I had sinus trouble for many, many years. And I have an allergy to something, a chronic fungal sinusitis. So it's an allergy to a particle in the air that we breathe. So that was crazy to hear and learn. And so I was
Wow.
always on all these medications, and I had 3 surgeries, and I'm also vaccine injured, and I got small fiber neuropathy, and I was bedridden for 14 months. And there's a lot of
Mm.
things. I had a brain tumor, and it's a lot. But what happened was, I was wanting to improve my heart health. And so I knew that I should follow Dr. Esselstyn's book about prevent and reverse heart disease. And I had 3 weeks before I was getting a blood test to check my cholesterol. And so what I ended up doing was just changing my diet. And I really didn't tell anyone. And I did bring it down 50 points in 3 weeks. But
Wow.
I also got the inflammation to subside to the point where I could get up and walk again. I could get out of bed, and I could move, I could drive, I could squeeze my hands. I couldn't even hold a pen at one point. I couldn't feed myself or sit at the table. And now I'm off of everything except my thyroid medication, which has been lowered, and I'm just super passionate. So when I had a friend say, you should try putting something in the bundle, I decided, okay, I'll see about this. And so I put together a recipe cookbook of things that I'm passionate about, that have helped me, that I think some are easy, and some may take a little more effort, but if you make a lot, you can freeze them. And so that's kind of how I started. And just the last thing I want to say in reference to what you said, you mentioned the cabbage rolls. So
Yes.
if you're going to make the cabbage rolls, I urge you to try the tangy onion sauce to go with it.
Oh, okay. I thought, I had my pen. Let me write this down
Yeah,
because I
it's
don't
a
want to forget.
great sauce. Oh my gosh.
I was wondering what that is like, tangy onion sauce, because I saw that in there.
It's really, really good. I think it is. I've got good feedback. And so yeah, if you decide to make them, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So that's kind of, in a quick nutshell, a little bit about me. But I have a YouTube channel, and you can find me pretty much everywhere. And I'm at the Jennifer Diamond on YouTube. So yeah. So tell me, do you have a family? How do you balance all of this stuff?
Yeah, so it's me and my partner, and we've been together for, I think it's 18 years now. And we went through, well, when we first got together, he really didn't eat any vegetables at all.
Oh,
I luckily was already kind of we met when we were like in our young to mid 20s, and I was already kind of dabbling with different diets and modalities and lifestyle changes, but nothing had really stuck. But we met, in pretty much the only vegetable he would really eat is like potatoes in a potato, like French fries, or even a baked potato if it had a bunch of cheese on it. Maybe
yeah,
if you had broccoli, it had to have a bunch of cheese on it, right? But really didn't eat many vegetables at all. I think he would maybe eat corn, but even then. Um, and when we got more serious, I said, you're going to start to need to eat some vegetables, because I kind of want you to stick around for a while, right? And so, it took a little slow process, but he got into it more, and I, showed him, like, you can season them, you can make vegetables taste delicious, depending on how you cook them, or how a sauce that you have, or you season them, whatever. Anyway, flash forward, we moved in together 3 years later, and so we were now sharing all of our meals together. And we were cooking because it's expensive. We moved across the country. We came out here without jobs. We live in Los Angeles, but we're both from the East Coast. And so we were cooking a lot. And even then, I knew how important vegetables were, and I did not eat healthy at this time, but I knew to add vegetables to everything we were cooking. And then as time went on, I was adding more and more and more. And now he makes tons of the meals, and it's all vegetables pretty much. I mean, obviously we eat beans and sprouts and legumes and starches and grains and all those things as well. But the amount of vegetables, that's the bulk of our meal. And where was I going with this? I forgot what the main question was. Oh, family, yes. So when pandemic hit, so I had been kind of going back and forth, thinking I really needed to go on more of a plant-based diet, more of a vegan diet, um, for my health, because I struggled with so many health issues growing up, since birth. And then as I said, I had, like dozens basically of chronic illnesses and autoimmune disorders, 10 surgeries, total reconstructive jaw surgery. I was not able to always play with my friends. I was missing a lot of school. I would miss work. I went on disability for many years. And so I just knew that the allopathic Western medicine wasn't really working that well for me. I mean, I don't disparage it. They helped me in a lot of ways, but it wasn't the answer to the root cause. It was just kind of band-aid methods. And I was on so much medication and prescriptions, and they were just causing a lot of more issues and side
mm,
effects. And so I had really studied for many years, since early 20s. I was studying, I was reading everything I could about health and lifestyle. When the internet got a little bit more popular and available, I was, researching that. Um, and I knew I kind of needed to go down this path, but I was like, there's no way I can give up, the go-to processed foods, or the Cheez-Its, or the cheese. I was big fanatic of cheese, big, huge ice cream fan, lots of dairy in my diet. But when, I was just trying things out and nothing really stuck. And then finally, when pandemic hit and the whole world shut down, I said to my partner, I said, I would love to try going plant-based. Would you do it with me as support? And he was already eating very, we were eating healthier. And he said, yeah, let's try it. Like, and we were both kind of like, I don't know if it's going to stick. I don't think we'll ever give up cheese, but we'll try it, see how we feel, how it goes. And it did take a hurdle. Like, I mean, there was a hurdle. There was time where it was tough, and we messed up a couple times. But around like the 3 week to 4 week mark, the cravings, the addiction to it really started to go away. And I was noticing a lot less inflammation, a lot more energy. He didn't have many health issues. He, I think at the time, wanted to maybe release a little bit of weight, and he had struggled with some skin issues and some asthma, um,
Wow.
his whole life. And his skin started to get a lot better. Like he would get the really big cystic acne, like the really sore, painful,
Yes.
big ones, and he would
I
get them
had that. I
often. Oh, you
had
did as
that, so
well?
I understand. Yes. Yes, it's very painful, poor guy.
I know, and he would get them not only on his face, sometimes on your back or different parts of your body. And it's not. We definitely both notice that if we kind of eat a lot, we both fully eat vegan, but we don't always eat whole food plant based. We're not always cooking for ourselves. We do. Um, Now that I've kind of gotten over like the biggest of my health hurdles, we do go out and eat the more recreational foods, right? Eat at the vegan and plant based restaurants and stuff when they're usually higher in oil, higher in sugar, higher in salt, maybe some, more processed items. But and I notice it more. Like I definitely notice it in my digestion, and my joints might ache if I'm eating it too much. So it's definitely like eye opening to me. Like okay, get back on track. And but for him, he doesn't notice as much, but I can tell, if he's not eating as well on plan, his skin will maybe have some more breakouts too, or even stress. Stress will cause some issues too. It's not always just about the food; it's about other modalities of lifestyle, right? But yeah, so it's just he and I. I have tried to bring my extended family, my sister and brother-in-law and nephew and my mom and dad into this way of living. But funnily enough, my parents were like, "No, we're too old. We can't change. We've been eating this way our whole lives," which is not true. We can all make changes at any era of our life, right? But I had to go take care of them last year. Actually, it was around this time, and I stayed with them for almost 3 months because they both had fallen and injured themselves. And I
Oh,
told them like they weren't able to do anything. Like they weren't able to cook or clean or drive. They weren't able to. It just so happened they both fell at the same time. They weren't
that's
able to do anything, so I had to go take care of them. And so I was doing all the grocery shopping, all the cooking, all the cleanup. And I told
mm,
them, I'm not going to buy meat for you because, like, ethically, morally, I just don't want to do that anymore. But also, like, I love them. So I don't want to I know that they have to make the decision on their own, but I didn't want to just cook meat just because they said they wanted it. I said, look, just try my meals. I'll make food for you. I'll make dinners. Just try them. If you want to eat your cheese and crackers during the day or, your chips, whatever, but just try my dinners. And I think they were really grateful that I was cooking for them. There were times where like one of them would grumble like, "Oh, there's no meat in this sauce," or "Why can't I have this?" Or, like, or they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna add cheese." I'm like, "Just try it first. Just try it first. You don't have to add the cheese. Just try it first." Like it's very flavorful. And my dad, and now I don't have a comparison, so I can't say for sure, but my dad healed. He had broken his shoulder. He healed so quickly that the doctors were like, for your age and for the type of, fracture that you have, like we were really surprised how quickly the healing was going. He was doing great in physical therapy. Now he's like pretty much 100%. Um,
wow.
and I could tell in their sort of mental health and their demeanor too had gotten a lot better, gotten a lot like there was just more ease and more um, patience with
Mm,
them too. I like I said, I don't have any proof that it was in the food, or maybe it was just, somebody was taking care of them all the time. But I really feel like, because I've noticed that in myself too, just like more compassionate, more patient, since I've changed over my diet. And I really think that made a change with them. And they were enjoying my meals. And they thought, oh, I could never. I mean, we have to have this. And I'm like, you don't. You really don't. Of course, I left. I came back to Los Angeles, and they went back to eating the way they were eating. But at least I got a little bit, 2.5 months of giving them some nourishment.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, what a gift you gave them. And I totally have heard that and believe that people heal faster when their bodies are given the right nourishment. So that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that your dad is almost 100%, and that things that they were willing to eat the food.
Exactly.
So sometimes, and now they have that awareness, right? So maybe even if they're not doing it, maybe they're thinking about it when they're buying things. Who knows? But that's super great, and I'm proud also and happy to hear that your partner and you were able to do it together. I think that there's strength in numbers and community and support in that way. And so good for you guys to be able to like navigate the transition together. Wow. I wish that I had that, but we're my husband and I are in different places. So I started my journey myself, and then he ended up, starting to make changes, and now we have some places where we meet in the middle together, and it's really nice, And I also realized, hey, you might not know how to cook, but man, you sure are doing great with these spices and flavors, and mixing the different spices together to make really good sauces and stuff. And so it's like, some hidden talent.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's
So
the thing
yeah,
too. I feel like I don't know if you were always into cooking, but for me, I've never really been big into cooking. But now that I um, eat fully plant-based and I really like to know what goes into my body, so I make a lot of different meals. Like I use so many more spices, so much more variety. I've tried so many different vegetables and fruits, like things that I never had growing up, like millet, like I didn't know what that was. You know what I mean? Just sprouts, like what? Like tofu I thought was nasty when I tried it before. Like I don't like the texture, I didn't like the flavor. Little did I know it depends on how, like what type of tofu, how you cook it, what you put, because tofu doesn't really have a flavor unless it's what you put on it, really. Um, and so I don't know about you, but I feel like I just have more, like I'm more exploratory and I have more variety in my diet than ever before.
yeah, that's cool. So, going back to your contribution, um, do you help people with autoimmune, like such as like thyroid and Hashimoto's? I know there are a lot of autoimmune diseases, but just because that's one that I struggle with, I eat this way already. I was just curious if you had anything to say about that particular autoimmune.
Yeah. So I do. I help people with all different autoimmune disorders, but um, I feel my strength is what I've experienced myself, and I feel like that's who I draw into, which is really like the rheumatoid arthritis and the Hashimoto's. I also have had eczema and psoriasis. I had asthma. I had a bunch of allergies. So that's usually what people I help with. But so for Hashimoto's, so I was able to reverse the Hashimoto's. Now I'm still, or I should say, I'm reworking on my thyroid. Um, because I was able to come off all of my medication, including my thyroid medication, when I first started. But then I
Right.
started reintroducing some more not so healthy vegan foods, and then things would fluctuate, and then I went through a really stressful time. And one of the really stressful time was last year when I was taking care of my parents, and just right before
Mm.
that, and my hair was falling out. My depression and anxiety got really bad. So I had chosen to actually just a few months ago chosen to go back on my mental health medication. And that's, medication can be like a godsend. So I'm not just, I don't want to like say that's bad, but it is still one of my goals to then hopefully be able to come off of it. But I mean, I was on 8 or 9 prescriptions at one point,
Wow.
not including all of the over the counter medications that I was taking. So, so I'm okay with it. And then because of all the stress, my thyroid levels were fluctuating. So when I was feeling better, they were getting like they were in the lower, the TSH was lower, and that was good. And then when I was stressed, it doesn't matter every time they start going back up. So my doctor was like, "Well, it's up to you. Do you want to try going back on medication? Because but my TPO, which is your marker for your Hashimoto's, has stayed in a really good level. It's normal, which is
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, and so I'm really grateful for that. And my ANA and inflammatory markers for like rheumatoid arthritis and other autoimmune are also really good. But so I chose to go back on my thyroid medication. It was still not terribly high, but it was still higher than, typical doctor wants to see it. And then you have to, consider your organs and your heart health. So I did choose to go back on the medication, and it's been great. Everything's been working fine, and I feel happy about that. And now, even on the medication, I go to get it tested, the blood work tested, and if I'm having a really stressful time, it will still fluctuate even on the medication, which is interesting. Um, and like it'll go down, and it seems like I could maybe lower my medication, or it'll go back up, and it seems like, oh, and I tell my doctor, I was like, it's stress. I know it's stress. It
Yeah.
happens every time for me. That's a really big trigger for me. But yeah, one of my goals for me would definitely be to come off of that again. I mean, hopefully I can. I don't see why not, but if it doesn't happen, I'm also okay with that too because I feel really good. And then for a tip, or um, I know a lot of people. It doesn't sound like you are because seen some of your recipes, but a lot of people with thyroid issues are very worried about having cruciferous vegetables in their diet. And cruciferous vegetables are like the powerhouse. They are like some of the best things you could put in your diet. They've been shown to completely eliminate cancer cells in vitro through a John Hopkins study. They've shown to destroy COVID-19 viral infection in vitro as well. And so it's just incredible. It's helped people eliminate a lot of illnesses just by incorporating a lot. So I mean, my tips are just eat a ton of raw cruciferous. Spinach is also really good, but the raw cruciferous is the powerhouse right there. And you don't have to be worried about it. Just don't take it at the same time as your thyroid medication, or don't eat it at the same time as um, if you have iodine. I don't know if you take iodine, because I know a lot of doctors can be a little weirded out if you take thyroid medication, and because we get iodine in our iodized salt, but I don't really eat iodized salt. I don't cook with it at home. I don't eat out at a lot of restaurants, so I supplement with iodine, and I just separate the cruciferous with iodine to make sure the absorption is good. Those are my biggest tips for thyroid.
Nice. Thank you so much. And yeah, I recently heard about iodine and started to incorporate it. And I did hear that you should separate the cruciferous, don't take it at the same time. And so those are simple things, right? And so that's what I've been doing just recently, like within the last handful of months. So yeah, and I'm wondering, is there anything that you saw in the bundle that stood out to you that we could talk about? I mean, there are so many things in there. Anything that stands out?
Yeah, actually, well, first I wanted to say that I know you were talking to Chef Val earlier today, and she has one of her books in the bundle is the vegetable books, and sea vegetables are super high in iodine, so they're really, really good, like helpful for thyroid as well, and very creative because I don't really cook or use a lot of sea vegetables generally, and so that's an interesting book to me. I'm definitely going to be incorporating a little bit more into my life, but I was really interested because I know I said earlier that I was a huge cheese addict. And I was flipping through the plant-based cheese lovers cookbook. I don't know if you saw that one in there. That's by Linda Tyler and Donna Spencer. And I picked out, I'm going to try their feta, which is made out of tofu. So I had some extra firm tofu, so I already pressed it. So after we get off this live, I think I'm going to go try to make some of that, which I think it takes about 48 hours, they say, to have it kind of marinate in the seasonings in order to get it to have that really good flavor. But I'm really excited about trying that because it's all whole food. There's no oil. And this one's nut free, which is nice. I mean, I don't have any issues with nuts, but sometimes I want to have a lower calorie density and not feel the guilt, and also anyone watching, if you're concerned about protein, I have a free protein guide, but that I can offer you if you want it, just let me know. But so, soy and tofu are very high in protein, so that's good for that. And there's a bunch of things in the bundle. What about you? Have you pinpointed something that looks really extra interesting?
Yeah, I have not checked that cheese book out yet. And my husband has been looking for a cheese replacement. So that's one that you just brought to my attention, and I'm will have to look at that. There are a lot. Oh my God, there are so many. But you know, there is a chef, Ramsey Bravos from True North Health Center. He's got a cookbook in there that I thought was really good. There's a 21-day challenge by Chef Julia. So I thought that was interesting. And there's a lot of strength training, yoga, and meditation. So the mental component for me is really important. And so I like those. And then I spoke to Dr. Carrie Henneman, I think is her name. Heeneman. I'm sorry if I'm messing that up. And she has a great book called Family Meals First, which I think is really, really incredible, because it's based on all family, like, you know, a big family, but it could be an individual. And so I really liked that one. And then the other one I would say is it's actually a coloring book. I don't know if you've seen
I
it.
saw that. I didn't even realize it was a coloring book at all at first, and then I scrolled through and I was like, wait a minute, this is really neat.
Yeah, it's a book by Alana. What is her last name?
I know I follow her. Michiro
Minta.
Minta is her handle.
Minta. I'm actually going to be with her tomorrow morning. She's going to come on my channel at 7:30 Arizona time, which is Mountain Standard Time, because she's in France. And
Oh,
so
wow,
it's
yes.
going to be the afternoon for them. And I'm really excited about her book. It's a great book for kids, but I even like it for myself. So it's a coloring book, right? And it's got every letter of the alphabet, and every food that, you know, a bunch of foods that are like there's apple and asparagus and whatever, right? And then there's a description about it, and sometimes a recipe. So maybe there were almonds for A, and it would talk about almonds, and then it would give you a recipe to make almond milk. And that's not the whole book. She's got so much other good stuff in there, games, and you got to check that one out. I was like, oh, this is so fun. I want to print out coloring pages for myself.
Wow, that's so creative. I love that. That's what I love about the bundle too, is it's like people are like, "Oh, I have enough recipes," or "I could just Google it." It's like, sure, but there's so many other really cool things in there. Like there's a Beat Stress Eating by Samantha Salmon. I haven't read that one yet, but because it said stress eating or anything that has to do with cravings or addiction, I'm all for, because like you said, the mindset aspect is really, really important to sort of stay on track, because we're so bombarded with, you know, outside sources, whether it be stress or just like the marketing of sort of junk and processed foods. And it can be so easy to slip right back in, and then you don't feel good, and then it's harder to get back on track. And if you're sick, you can't, you know, cook for yourself, you can't stay healthy. So it's like this whole cycle. And so anything that has to do with the mindset aspects of it, Lissa has the affirmations and meditation challenge, which I think that whole course costs $150 if you were to buy it alone. So I mean, if you wanted to just get that would completely be worth it. And she has affirmations in there that help with like habit forming and procrastination. And you know, if you were trying to stay raw or trying to stay healthy, like, you know, different affirmations to help you with that. And yeah, that's really, this bundle is so incredible. And it's only $49, and it's valued at like $5,500.
I know. There's also another affirmations in there for healthy eating by Jane Thurnell, I think it is, or Thurnell. I mean, gosh, there's just so much. Even a Korean barbecue. I want to check that out. I haven't yet. Have you checked that one out?
Yes, I was in I checked that one out because I did a live with Chef Yin. Oh, we did a different bundle in November, and she had that book in that one. I think yeah, and I was checking that out. It's really cool. Yeah, she is very creative with her recipes too. They look so delicious, and she takes beautiful photos as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of raw, because I know in yours you have some raw, and I don't know if you're into raw or if it just pointing it out for that reason, but there are a lot of, I was surprised at how much raw food is in here if people are curious about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not fully raw myself. I mean, as you can see from the recipes, but I have gone stints of being fully raw, and I will say that I feel the best ever when I'm like really high raw or fully raw, but my mindset gets in the way, and I it's so easy for me to want to have something cooked.
Okay, I just got to tell you, Connie DeCramer, she has something called The Magic of You in the bundle. You got
Oh,
to check out. It's like it's a series of 8 videos, and she is awesome about teaching about mind. And so if you haven't checked her video series out, that's a great one as well.
okay. Thank you. I am definitely going to check that one out because this is all stuff
Yeah.
I need.
Yeah, and so I just a reminder, everyone, between now and March 10th, you can get the bundle for $49. You can get it through my bio, or you can get it through Laurie's bio, and find us on our platforms. And after that, though, that's it. You don't get it anymore. So don't wait and miss out on such an awesome opportunity. Do
I
you have any
know.
last words to
Well,
share?
yeah, just that so like I said, in the beginning, like I have so many bundles and I just want to remind people if they're like, "Oh, I already got the vegan health bundle or I got another bundle, I'm good." This is completely different bundle. Like so everything in this bundle is completely different from any of the other bundles. A lot of it, most of it I think is all new, like brand new stuff from everyone. And none of the bundles are ever the same. So there's always going to be like different categories, different types, different topics, different themes within the bundles and different contributors as well.
Yes, I agree. And there was also like a bonus thing that I forget what they were saying it, but where you take 3 ingredients and you make a savory or a sweet thing, and I'm part of that, and that's also in there. That did you do that or no?
Yeah, yeah. So I did one savory, one sweet. Yeah, so the collaboration book, which is yeah, so it was a really cool idea and it's only available in this bundle. Once the bundle's over, like it's not going to be available anywhere else because there's just no way for all of us to like split the profits in any other way because we all came together and made this one cookbook or I should say recipe book because it's not all cooking, some of it's raw. Actually, the two recipes I put in are both raw. What did you put
Nice.
in?
Oh my gosh. Well, you have the 3 ingredients, right? And so I did put in one of each, but you're going to have to get the bundle to see. So,
Yay!
but it's easy, simple things because you're only working with 3 ingredients, and it really shows you how many different ways you can use the same ingredients, and it just goes to show you how versatile real food is or can be. And
Mhm.
so, yeah. So everybody, don't delay. Go ahead and download yours now. $49. You can't beat it. And Laurie, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on with me and talk about this amazing bundle that we're both part of. And just want to know if you have any last words for anybody.
No, I mean, I feel like we covered some pretty good ground. I mean, I'd love to connect again with you to hear even more of your story if you'd be willing. But I absolutely loved having this chat. I love being part of the bundle, and I love that we connected. And thank you so much for having me on your platforms.
Absolutely. And yes, 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 let's stay connected. And that's another thing about all of this, right? You have an opportunity to stay connected. And just really quick, when you talked about people saying, oh, I could just go to the internet, yes, you can. But in the bundle, you know that you're getting foods that are salt, sugar, and oil free. And then you can reach out to the people because they have platforms if you need any more support. And there's all the community. So I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong with it. But I just want to tell everyone thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to get your bundle before March 10th. That's the last day. So you actually can go to March 10th. And don't forget to eat your greens. And I always say, give plants a chance, everyone.
I love that.
We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. And again, thank you, Laurie.
Thank you. Bye.